Okay, today we continue with our class laws of Shabbos, and today's class number 57. And we start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim. Big topic is the same for a subject's benefit. And today's topic is no alternative. If after a given a situation such a thought, a teacher comes to the conclusion that a particular student has behavioral learning problem and feels that it will not be possible to deal with the problem without involvement of the principal, his colleagues, or the student's parents, then the teacher should speak to necessary party without delay. So he must try, as we said last time, not last time, the time before last, to resolve it quietly without get all of the other people involved, but now he feels he cannot do it, so he can involve other people. There is no problem, because as we said, it's all for constructive purpose. We're trying to help this person, this child. Condition 5 of constructive speech, see day 50, is that the speaker intent is purely for constructive reason and not out of anger or frustration. So his motive should be that he's trying to help the child. He's not trying to tell these parents that the parents is going to beat him up or something, like, or yell at him, punish him. It's not, should not be his agenda.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's say, like, you have to give someone mussar, right? And there's a 50-50 chance to listen to you, right? So the 50% he doesn't listen to you, his avera gets much worse, because now he knows, like, what he's doing, and he's dafka still doing it. Okay, so but let's say you can tell someone right away who he would listen to 100%. So do I tell that person, or do I try by myself with the person first? I mean,
so if you say, I don't know, for whatever reason you say, for example, it's his Rabbi, and you, so of course you should talk to Rabbi, not don't do it yourself.
Got it.
So we're trying to do it with the least embarrassment possible for the person, and our goal is to help him. So when your goal is to help somebody, it doesn't matter how the help is going to get there, through yours, through somebody else, right? So if that way is better, that avenue is better, it's shorter, it's a shortcut to go to his Rebbe, that's what we must do, absolutely, 100%. Go ahead.
It's a colleague. Is it still the same? Yeah, if it's a colleague, is it still the same? Do you still say the same thing? Not just
yes. I mean, if you know that somebody is more influential on him than you, so yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Got it.
This could be extremely trying. When the student is in question is disruptive and frequently upset the teacher, meaning to have his only best interest involved, not to vent out his anger and frustrations. Okay, difficult as it is, teacher must not take students' behavior personally. So, I mean, go try to do that. The disruptive student is, in most cases, not fighting the teacher. He's struggling with himself as he deals with the challenges of life. So, as you know, like of course, but he's doing it to you. Of course, he has his own problem, but I suffer basically, right? So it's very hard. But on another hand, don't be a teacher.
Rabbi, yes. I have a question that might pertain to some yeshiva bachrim. Let's say someone, right, because he barely gets any sleep, okay, or whatever, he is stressed, so his midas aren't the best because he's not as alert, right? What's better for him? To keep going on the same derech, keep as he is, right? A little worse midas, not like, he's mean to people, just, not what you want, not derech eretz. Versus...
Derech eretz is very important. So when you say not derech eretz, well, so okay, can you give me one example? What do you mean? Because if you say not derech eretz, I would say no, it's not good. So give me an example. So let's determine.
So let's say he doesn't. Let's say he leaves the. Let's say the bread is open and he doesn't close it, right? For the other bakram, something like that.
I said, what is open?
He leaves bread open, right? You know, they're having breakfast or whatever. He leaves bread open. He leaves, his food on the table.
Yeah, okay. So he doesn't come. Okay, I see.
Exactly, that type of stuff. So it's better to keep on that mahalach, or let's say these are the only two choices, or to vape. Which one?
Why could it be two? I'm not sure. What is the one has to do with another?
No,
I mean,
that's their lot.
if it happens from time to the way I see it, right? When a person does not have enough sleep, I rarely have enough sleep, right? So I mean, you can miss some, like sometimes. So but it's not your personality, right? So if a person is tired, as you said, he's not as alert. If it happens once a week, okay, that's understandable. If it happens every day, it has nothing to do with his lack of sleep. That's his personality. He has to change himself. Yeah, in a sense. So that's my answer.
Understand. Okay.
So all right. So last time we started this melach. I'm very interested of color, right? Okay, so we continue with part number 7. We're on page 229, and the topic is adding color to food and liquids. Adding color to food. Okay, so last time we said there is no problem, but let's see. Number 1 for color. If the ingredients that colors the food is added solely for its flavor, it may be added on Shabbos. As it is explained above, the melach of tzolveya is defined as improving the appearance of the object. Right? In this case, the purpose of the coloring is not to improve the food appearance, therefore is not prohibited under the melach of tzolveya. So I give an example. Sometimes, I stopped with some time ago, just finished actually. We have this syrup, like raspberry syrup. So sometimes you would drink something, and you put some water and put some syrup, and it's like you have sweet drink. Okay, quick way, right? So of course it was water, and now it looks like unbelievable. This raspberry color, very nice. You understand? But I did it not because of the water, because of the taste. So it would be this case or taste flavor. So there is no problem. I'm not sure if it's very healthy, but it's sweet. Okay, continue. Number 2, for decorative purposes, food that is not meant to be eaten, but is displayed purely for decoration may not be colored for decorative purposes on Shabbos. An example might involve centerpieces utilizing the counters filled with colored waters. It is forbidden to color the water in the counters on Shabbos. So they have some like I don't know, like not a plate, not a vase, something like a vase, like a low, very low, in the centerpiece, and they put like a blue water, like some look nice. I don't know. For me, it's waste of money, but okay. But anyway, on Shabbos you cannot do it because it's purely for decoration. Purely, it's there's no other. Nobody's going to drink that water.
So let's say it's 99% for decoration, meaning let's say, I don't know, if possible, okay, there's a watermelon, all right, and I want to make it blue. I somehow find a way, food coloring, make it blue. Okay, now, so obviously I just want it to look better. It doesn't affect the taste at all, but I'm going to eat it. So is that allowed or no?
Yes. Yeah.
Understand.
So we said only for decorations, not allowed. But if you like, for you it's improvement. So that's why your child could dream to have this blue watermelon. Okay, there is no problem. Okay, right. Okay, so continue. Number 3, to make it easier to sell. The poskim rule that it is if the purpose of coloring the food is to make it more appealing to a buyer, the color may not be added on Shabbos. So I'm not sure what buyer you're talking about and seller on Shabbos, but So if other people would like it better, I'm not sure. I mean, maybe they're going to give you an example of what they mean. Okay. Okay, it was A. So now we're going to B. Adding color to beverages. Okay. Most poskim rule that the rule of allowing one to add flavor to food, even when doing so colors the food, applies not only to the food, but also to all types of beverages. According to this view, which is one of the customary followed, one may add instant coffee or tea to water on Shabbos, even though they want thereby colors the water. So I mean, it's a classic example, right? So you had the pure clear water. So you added this instant coffee. Now it's brown. So it looks good, right? And if you add milk, so it's unbelievable color, right? But since it's for a taste purposes, of course there is no problem. Yeah, one else. You're good. Continue. Sorry. However, some poskim maintain that adding color to water is prohibited by rabbinic law, since it resembles the manufacture of certain types of paint, which are made by mixing dye into water. So it's very simple. That's how they make, right? So they have this powder, right? And they add the water, and here we go. We have a paint. This poskim agree, however, that one is permitted to add color to the other types of beverages. 1 second. So let me read again. I'm not sure what the point is. However, some poskim maintain that adding color to water is prohibited by rabbinic decree. Okay, some poskim. Okay, since it resembles the manufacture of certain types of paint, which are made by mixing dye into water. Okay, so according to them, no tea, no coffee. These poskim agree, however, that one is permitted to add color to other type of beverages. I'm not sure they say. Any color to water. Okay, so these people. Okay, so these poskim say that color to water is maybe an issue, but color to other beverages should not be an issue. But still, according to them, so the problem is with coffee, right? Also, even according to this view, the prohibition is limited to a care in which the water is placed into a container before the coloring ingredients. For example, coffee is added. For only then does it resemble manufacture of paint, in which water is placed into a container before coloring ingredients. So okay, prohibited. No, one more time. The prohibition limited to a case in which the water is placed into a container before coloring ingredients. So okay, so in this case, so they say, how do they make paints? They add, they put water, whatever how much water they need, and then they add paint. So that's how, actually, that's how we make coffee, right? So that would be according to all of the opinions, right? Okay. So coffee. So first they put like normal way. Okay, normal or every day. How you make coffee? Instant coffee. You first put in a cup. You put coffee and sugar. Then you add water. Correct? That's the normal way. Okay. So now they say no. But but on Shabbos, how do we make coffee on Shabbos? Instant coffee on Shabbos. So they say you have a first cup, right? So you get the hot water from the urn in the first cup, and then according to all of the opinions, if you would pour water in a second cup and sugar and coffee in that second cup, it would be according to all of the opinions. Minority, some rabbis say so. Even if you put sugar and coffee first, there is no problem, but it's not according to all of the opinions. So now that they say this adding coffee to the water is resemble the manufacture of the paint. Continue.
Right, Rabbi. They say some post-game have a problem with adding milk to coffee.
No, only okay. So you're going to different direction. Milk, if it was pasteurized, there is no problem. But fresh milk, like from cow, there is a problem because it's not cooked. Pasteurized, I think it is cooked. It's considered to be cooked. You understand? So there is so it would be no sense. So milk in a second cup. Milk in a second cup, I think it should be no problem. It's a tertiary vessel. So urn is one vessel. 1 cup is second vessel, and it's klishlishi, right? So klishlishi, the third vessel should not be an issue. Yes.
Understood.
So what? So one second. So what do you mean issue? No issue. The issue is cooking. So if the hot water is going to cook this milk, that's the issue.
Yes. I'm asking if there's a problem with changing the color because it becomes more of a light brown.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but there is no problem with liquids because we're going to drink it. So, but here they say if you add coffee into the water, adding coffee into the water, that's how they make paints. Right, so they have this powder from all of the herbs and stuff like that, and they add into the water, and then they mix, and that they get the paint. So, but adding milk to the coffee, to the ready coffee, there is no problem according to all opinions. But especially if you do it in a second cup.
So just to be clear, because I want to know why you told me that about milk. Because, for example, if I'm using milk for coffee, right, there shouldn't be no problem at all. Because to put the caffeine in, right, the water already had to have been in a shlishi anyways. So I don't need to put the milk in a shlishi. I can just pour the milk straight into the coffee.
Correct. Yes, correct. Yes.
Okay, understood.
So that there is no problem with color. So what is it possible? Why are we discussing all these things? Right. First possible issue, right? Why we discussing is coloring. Right. That's how we started. Maybe coloring. So we said there is no problem. And second possible issue of cooking the milk. So we said also it's not an issue.
Just one more thing, by the way. So when we third cup, right? So I pour the water from the boiler, whatever you want to call it, the urine, right? So that's gonna be the first cup, okay? Then from the second.
Stop. No, this first cup is a secondary vessel.
Okay, so that's gonna be okay, got it.
Number 2. So this is number 2, and the second cup is a number 3 vessel, number 3.
Okay, so just to be clear like this. So in this first cup, right? I don't have caffeine. I'm talking about the first cup, right?
Yes.
Okay, but the second cup, I have caffeine and I can just pour it in already, right?
Yes, but okay, but if you want to go by all of the opinions, so you pour water first, and then you add sugar and coffee.
But the thing is, to go by all these opinions, I'm going against this opinion. No.
Exactly. That's what I said. But I don't know. That's a good point. But okay, so let's read and we'll see. So
hey, can I ask something about?
Okay.
Can we remind the temperature in which water will be considered as a cooking factor?
So the water, it should be above Yatzeles Bo. Yatzeles Bo, it's when you touch. You have the pot on a stove, right? Let's say on a fire, and it's so hot when you touch it like this, your hands recoils.
Is there any value? A specific value?
Yes.
How much temperature?
I have to check. I don't know in Celsius.
No, in Fahrenheit. I think we was
I think
about.
it's no one. I'm trying to remember, what is it? We'll check. I don't want to say the wrong number, but it's easy to check. So halachically, this temperature basically. So and another definition of this temperature. One is definition that your hands is recoil, and another definition, if you put, so it's not so hot. It's not so hot. Can you drink it? Probably, I don't know. Maybe yes. I like hot, so I can drink it probably, right? But they say second definition of this temperature, how hot is it? If you put on the abdomen of the small baby, it's going to burn for sure. So adult, probably maybe you leave it like a red mark for a few hours, but baby for sure it's going to burn. So that's how we know. So basically, if the liquid of this temperature, we say that it's going to cook whatever it's going to contact with other liquid. You understand? So if, for example, you have this hot water, it's so hot, and you add a lot of milk right away, so that the temperature is going to get down. As David was saying, he wants coffee with milk, so there is no problem. But if you add only a little milk, right? So this a little milk would be cooked by the what is it? By the water. You understand? But then we say if it's in tertiary vessel, so meaning you hot water urn, then first cup and second cup. It says in Kli Shlishi, according to all of the opinions, in a third vessel, it's not going to cook. But so that's why they allow.
But in this third vessel, will it be as hot as in when you put out of the urn?
Okay, so let's say even it is. Let's say even it is. So, but we say halachically, it's not capable of cooking because it's going to cool down very fast.
Because I was thinking about this issue of putting milk into the hot coffee. How to maybe you wait amount of time until it cools down. It cools down.
No. There is no need to do that. Okay. No need, especially so. We're talking the only issue that David was asking. It was only about the milk. So if there is no milk, and you add only sugar and coffee, they will already cooked 100%, right? And they dry, so okay, there is no problem.
Oh, so you must put into the hot coffee a type of milk that was previously considered cooked, and that
but sugar is always cooked. Sugar is always cooked. Coffee, instant coffee is always cooked. So unless you have this, that's what is discussed before. You have this filter, right? You have coffee maker, stuff like that. Let's say. So if there, I think I'm not an expert, but I think it's a raw coffee. That would be a problem. It would cook. But this instant coffee, it's cooked 100%. Okay. So continue. So I mean we're going to talk about it in a different book. It's not for this. Okay, but continue. If, however, one reverse the order by placing the colored ingredients into container before water, he has not violated the prohibition, since this act does not resemble the manufacture of paint. Let us again repeat that most poskim do not differentiate between the water and other beverages, and permit the person to add flavor to the water in a regular manner, even if the flavoring agent adds color. See practical application. So, okay, so I think, so if authors say, in simple words, we can ignore all of this issue with color in water, or water on any other liquids, if it's for the purpose of consuming. If you want going to drink it or eat it, there is no problem. Okay, so the bottom line. But the issue with the coffee is a different one. It's not the paint. It's not the paint. It's an issue that it is this instant coffee, even if it's dry, 100% dry. In halachically, if I remember correctly, it considers to be liquid. You understand? So it's liquid that was dried. That's how they do. They boil the coffee, whatever they do, the process, and then through the very low temperature, like minus I don't know how many degrees, so that they freeze it. That's how they make this coffee, instant coffee. Okay, David, you wanna?
Yeah. Why do we? For example, over here sometimes it says some poskim, right? So
Yes.
my question is just like this in general. Now, some poskim means lenient opinion. So let's say something like tea. Let's say
No.
all.
Well, some poskim maybe lenient, maybe more stringent. I mean, but it's minority. Let's say it's minority for sure.
Agreed. So let's say the lenient opinion. Let's say, okay. So let's say all Ashkenaz say no tea. Can't make tea on Shabbos. Okay, because
Okay, there is almost no such a thing that everybody would agree.
I hear.
You understand? There is always. Don't ask me why, but for example, some people ask the question of big rabbis, but clearly stated in Shulchan Aruch, clearly stated in the Mishnah Brura, and in the way I see it, is a provocative question. Why do you want to ask him? Like the answer is clear, and unless you present absolutely different details, I would say, okay, that's a good question to ask. But otherwise, why would you ask? Why do you provoke? And sometimes big rabbis answer differently, and now you got stuck. And then the person goes, okay, this rabbi from I don't know where, so he's bigger than Mishnah Brura. Okay, guess what? Then he is greater than Shulchan Aruch. He just canceled Shulchan Aruch.
Okay.
You understand? So there are different opinions. There are some say, but we don't go crazy. I mean, that's enough stringencies in Torah as it is to add upon ourselves more stringencies. You understand?
I'll give you the simple way. So let's say, why can't we go leniently, right? Sometimes, why can't we rely on a leniency that Sephardi poskim have? Why can't we say, okay, I'm Ashkenaz, but like I need a leniency, I want to go by Sephardim. Why?
I think it's from Yeshayahu. I would not. I'm trying to remember the verse, but he actually almost curses these people who do that, or who pick and choose. So like this like Sephardim, they want to wear wigs. The women wear wigs. There's no one from Sephardic Jews from Sephardic poskim ever said it. And there are some shmendriks who get a big salary and are being pushed by community. His local greers, the local people who donate a lot of money, I understand. But like nobody big, like the biggest of the Sephardim, they said absolutely not. So I understand, but they say Moshe Feinstein. Okay, Moshe Feinstein said many things. So are you going to do the tea as Moshe Feinstein did? He did more tea essence, as I explained, right? No, they would do this tea bags, and he had many other leniencies, and had many other stringencies. Are you going to do this, or you want to pick and choose? So it's that's what we don't do. So you that's why it says pick yourself a rabbi and follow his psak. So whatever he said, it's like HaShem told you. That's what it is. Understand? So even the other opinions, 100%. I never seen ever. It's not like I'm big chacham or something, but I never seen one topic that everybody said that yeah, that's the proper way. I don't know, for like everybody has something to add. I don't know. So okay. So but we rely on this rabbi that he did all of the research. You can see in the notes, footnotes, that he does an amazing job. So okay. If he said, if majority said there is no difference, so it's not like you making a paint and stuff like that. So we can rely on this opinion. Okay, so number 3, practical application. Oh, okay, painting. All types of painting are forbidden on Shabbos. So I mean, it's very straightforward. I'm not sure what would be paint, why would be paint, but that's it. Continue. B, cosmetics, nail polish. One is forbidden to apply any type of nail polish on Shabbos. even clear polish changes the color of the nail and is therefore is prohibited. Right. So and I think in another topic we're going to say that this nail polish strengthens the nail, so it's like a building also, I think, or some other like lachas. Okay. Face powder. One is forbidden to apply face powder on Shabbos. Most contemporary poskim agree that this applies to any sort of face powder, even one specifically formulated for Shabbos use. We're going to see the commentary. However, one is permitted to use a talcum powder or baby powder on Shabbos to absorb sweat. So it's different, right? Or to prevent the heat rash or a diaper rash. For a baby, it's like a medicine. Like you can use the powder. But this, but you might ask, right? So why when I come to shul, or many ladies are in the full the full makeup, or what's going on? Okay, what's going on? Yeah, something's going on. Not good, for sure. Not good, right? And they would say, but we bought it in Judaica store. Okay, you bought it, or it says kosher. Okay, you can write on the pig it's kosher and sell it. So people who wants to buy, as I told you about this guy, I mean, he's supposed to be like a from birth guy, and he was asking about, is it kosher? He asked me, and he's standing in line in front of me, and he asked the guy like behind me, non-Jew, if it's kosher, and then he has on the register, is it kosher? Like, stop it. You understand?
So, Rabbi, makeup isn't allowed Shabbos?
No.
Oh.
But there is something that it's called permanent makeup. Permanent makeup that is going, the way I understand, I'm not an expert, but the way I understand, it's going to stay there until you remove it. So basically, it's like if they do on Friday night, like before Shabbat starts, and it's going to stay over for the whole Shabbat, there is no problem. Other permanent lipstick, they're not going to add the lipstick. I don't know. Don't ask me. But basically, it's so easy to lose your alam haba because of somebody's going to look at you like, what is the purpose? People are so stupid. Okay, eye makeup. The use of any type of eye makeup, for example, mascara, eyeliner, for any part of the eye. For example, eyelids, eyebrows, eyelashes is forbidden on Shabbos under prohibition of coloring. Okay, they can say kosher, shmosher. I mean, I don't know. Lipstick. The use of any type of lipstick is forbidden on Shabbos under the prohibition of coloring. Commentary. In addition to the use of the lipstick, often involves a prohibition against smoothing as well. Now that's a big one. Smoothing, but the same smoothing is other things, right? So, and even this chapstick, chapstick that you put on, so it's also forbidden because of the smoothing for sure. Coloring, I'm not sure, but smoothing for sure it's not well. Yeah, go ahead.
What's it called? But over here, when it says eye makeup is not allowed, it's talking about permanent eye makeup too, right?
No. You see, I apologize. Maybe I didn't explain that. So when I say permanent, you mean they did before Friday. So if they did before Friday, there is no problem. If it stayed there, there is no. It's like you light. You turn on the light in the living room or your bathroom, and it stayed there the whole Shabbat. What's the problem? There's no problem.
But even if it's not permanent makeup, isn't it fine if you put it on Friday before Shabbos?
Yes, but it's not going to stay. It's going to smudge and stuff like that. It's going to look disgusting, and she's going to decide what to remove it.
You're not allowed to remove it.
Of course not.
I hear.
Okay, continue. Number 5. Creams used for covering blemishes. One who covers a skin blemish with a cream is in effect coloring the skin, right? So that's the purpose to cover. Therefore, it is prohibited to use any type of cream to cover the blemish on Shabbos. I mean, just the way I see it, just stay home and don't lose your olam haba. You understand? If people work so hard every day and then just to go to shul and talk lashon hara to your friends and maybe you're going to preserve your olam haba if you stay home, right? Because of the pimple or whatever she has. You understand? So dyeing hair. It is forbidden to dye hair on Shabbos. Okay. I'm not sure how dyeing, the washing is forbidden. So maybe there is some other ways of dyeing that I'm not aware of, but doesn't matter. Same principle. Number 7, removing cosmetics on Shabbos. One is permitted to remove cosmetic, such as face powder, eye makeup, lipstick, and nail polish from one's kit or Shabbos. Okay, you see, I was not right. Okay, why? However, one may not use cream remover because applying the cream violates milach of smoothing. Okay, maybe that's what I thought. That's how I remember. Okay. When wiping over the makeup, one should not use cloth. For the color that adheres to the cloth can involve violation of malach of coloring. Instead, it should use disposable item such as each tissue of paper napkin. Okay. So all right. So you are allowed. Sorry, I apologize for confusion. So you're allowed to remove the makeup. So probably in my mind it was that she would be coloring the thing. But if she disposable, she used some disposable whatever cotton swabs or what is it? This napkin, paper napkin. There is no problem. But no creams. So cream is against the smoothing. Okay. Okay.
If a girl has some mascara on her eye or whatever, right? And it's made in some, let's say a shape like a triangle or whatever she wants to, right? And she takes it off. Does that count as erasing or no?
No. Simple. What is it? Shapes are not considered there, right?
Got it.
Okay. Next one. See disclosing tablet. Disclosing tablet. One uses disclosing tablet after brushing one's teeth to cause the dirt or the teeth to turn colors. I have no idea what is it. This enables person to locate the dirt. It is forbidden to use these tablets on Shabbos. Okay, some fancy schmancy thing to brush your teeth better. Yes, okay. Continue. D, urine test. Testing the urine by placing specifically a treated stick into it violates the prohibition of coloring, because the stick changes color when placed in a urine. In case of the need, one must consult halachic authority for guidance. So basically, somebody's sick and he has to take this urine test, so it's maybe different. Okay. Next one, E, taking a suntan. Most of the skin rule that one is permitted to take a suntan on Shabbos, even though one is intended thereby to add color to the skin. Commentary. It is, however, forbidden to put creams on one's body prior to suntan. Okay, so cream, we said it's a separate issue. Others, however, prohibit this activity. We said that Shabbos was given for learning Torah, right? People want to get a suntan.
Right, Rabbi. Even let's say you get a sunburn, right? And even if you don't peel off the skin, doesn't it violate a malacha over here? Because it changes the form. Like you make something into charcoal over here, you make it into dead skin.
No, but it was not your intention for sure.
Uh-huh.
So of course, maybe I don't know that you stood on the sun for too long, right? So that's your intention was not to get burned. Only crazy people would do that, right? So okay, so continue. All poskim agree that the one who is not trying to become tanned is permitted to walk or sit in the sun, even though he will inevitably become tanned. Okay. Since coloring his skin is not in intention, he has not violated the prohibition. So I mean, it's normal way. You're just walking in the sun. Of course, you're going to get something. Okay, okay, continue. Wiping blood away from a wound. Ideally, one should not use a cloth to wipe blood away from the wound. Instead, one should use disposable item such a napkin, paper towel, or gauze pad. Okay, so that's of course that's the best. Yeah, if no disposable item is available, one may use the cloth. Okay. However, even then, one should preferably do not use cloth of the same color as the liquid. So meaning, if you have a red T-shirt, for example, don't use color for the liquid. He's wiping up. For example, a red towel for the blood. Okay, because it's like you improving the towel. And as we said last time, I think somebody asked this question. If it is the only cloth available, he may use it. I mean, of course, I mean your intention is to stop the bleeding, not to color this towel.
Rabbi, if I use a black cloth, is it allowed?
I mean, if even we said even red is allowed if you have no choice. But of course, with the black, it's more evident that you're ruining it in some sense. I mean, you would be able to wash it, but of course, it's not improving the black, right?
So,
So it's more preferable than red. Let's put it this way.
But do you think I'd be allowed to use it as a first option or no?
The first option is something disposable for sure.
Got it.
Okay, so G, wiping up spill. We actually learned in different, but it's pertaining to this also. Yeah.
All right, one thing. If I use a cloth as the first option, okay, and right away throw it into the cleaner or whatever, not the the laundry.
That's the problem. So that's exactly the issue. So they're afraid in a halachas of laundry, they say that we're afraid that the person would say, oh, what did I do? It's my favorite T-shirts, and now he would tend to soak in the water, which is not allowed. So the stain would not set. You understand? That's why they say no. That's exactly the reason why. So, but if it's a rag, so like if you do not care, like I know you have some T-shirt that's old, right? Whatever. So you're going to throw them anyway. So in this case, it's no problem. I mean, that's the thing. Okay, continue or good? Okay, continue. Wiping up spills. If colored liquid spills, it should preferably wiped up with disposable napkin or towel. Okay. If no disposable item is available, so here is the same concept. One may use cloth. However, the cloth should preferably not be the same color as the liquid that's spilled. If cloth is another color is available, it may be used. So it's exactly your question is with the black towel. Okay, so continue. Oh, that's interesting. Photochromic, photogray lenses. I mean, what is another name for them? I don't know. Like, there's another name for that. That's exactly what I have. Photogray eyeglasses, which come dark when exposed to light and clear again when removed indoors, may be worn on showers. So, I mean, even though like when you go outside, they become dark. When you go inside, they become clear again. So there is no problem. It's not coloring, which is good. Okay, so this one is big issue. Toilet deodorizer. There is a dissent among the contemporary poskim regarding the color blocks of deodorizer commonly placed in the toilet bowls. I mean, today it's not like I go to different toilets, but I don't know, but I think in the previous years it was more common. I'm not sure what people do today. Okay. Placing the toilet bowls. Some hold that this may not be used on Shabbos, for they cause the water to become colored during flash. Other maintains that these deodorizers are permitted to use. Therefore, it is best to remove these items from one's toilet before Shabbos. In the event where they are not removed, one should remove them on Shabbos. Okay, we're going to explain. If this is not possible and no other bathroom is available, one may rely on scheme who permit the use of this deodorizer on Shabbos. So, what is this deodorizer? So, they put in a toilet tank, right, wherever the water collects. This thing, and it's like usually blue. So it makes the water blue, and it has chlorine and some other things. So it cleans the bowl, toilet bowl, and plus it smells nicely. Right? That's the thing. But every time you flush, so the new water that comes into the tap, it becomes colored. Guess what? That's the issue. So they say some poskim say there is no problem. I'm not sure why. Don't ask me. Before that, we said there is a problem, and other poskim say there is a problem. So we try to go by stringent opinion. So it says if it's your restroom, right, take it out on Friday, right? If you forgot to do it, you can do it even on Shabbat. There is no problem whatsoever, right? Because if it's not possible, you're in somebody else's house and that's the only restroom available. So of course you can flush. There is no problem. You can rely on this lenient opinion. Okay. So next one, J, polishing shoes. Polishing shoes on Shabbos violates milach of coloring. So not only this, but okay, coloring also. Even if the shoes were already polished before Shabbos, it is forbidden to add more polish on Shabbos. Likewise, shining already polished shoes is forbidden. It should be noted that polishing shoes can involve other prohibitions as well. So, of course, with a cream, with a shoe color or whatever, it's not the cream, whatever this shoe dye or whatever it's called, of course, it's colored 100%. But they say even if your shoes were like you put the creams before Shabbos started, and you think there is no problem, but different problem. As we said before, there is a melach of smooth. We didn't get to it, but you cannot smooth things, surfaces on Shabbos. That's the other issue. Okay, next, K, coloring beverages. Okay, so it's actually what here we go. Coloring, making coffee. Most poskim rule the prohibition of coloring does not apply to beverages. Therefore, one may mix instant coffee with hot water, even though the coffee colors the water. Of course, the hot water must be in a kli sheni, right? So kli sheni meaning the first cup, right, from the urn. Otherwise, adding the coffee would involve violation of the law of cooking. Okay. However, some poskim maintain the prohibition of coloring applies also to water, although not to other liquids, as we said before. According to their view, one is forbidden to mix instant coffee or any other coloring agent with water. Even according to this poskim, the prohibition applies only if the water is put into cup before coffee. 1 second. According to this poskim, the prohibition applies only if the water is put in a cup before coffee. If, however, the coffee preceded the water, they agree that it is permitted. Let's continue reading. One may follow the view of majority poskim who permit adding color to water on Shabbos. Okay, yeah, it's not exactly one-to-one as we said before, but okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
If, let's say, I don't know, a cantor at a party, right? He has a blue and he wants to make a light blue, so he puts milk, right? Counts as coloring or no? Can you use a food to color?
Food to color?
For example, the milk. Can you use the milk to color? Does the milk count as
No. First of all, this stringency, as I say, they applies only to water.
Yeah,
That's it. There is no, like, even like this minority opinion, they say water. Why water? That's how they were making paints. Paints were not made on the milk base or any apple juice based, only on water based. So yeah, you understand? So okay, so let's at least for now, let's incorporate maybe what I said you too strict. Okay, so we can go by this opinion. So let's I still, the way I remember I learned, and maybe they're going to say it in the Shabbat's kitchen, that do it in a second vessel, in a third cup, in a second cup, in a third vessel. Okay, so let's say the problem was with cooking. So let's leave it for now, this topic. We're going to get to it later on in another day. But for now, let's say there is no problem. If you have a pressing need, if you have only one cup, that's all you have, 1 cup, so you can make a coffee in the first cup, right? That's linear opinion, you can rely on. The proper way to do it in a second cup. So in the second cup, so you put, if you want to go like according to what he says here, so you can put sugar and coffee first, and then add water. So it's not going to be like painting. But I'm not sure about cooking. So let's. But you can always rely on this opinion when we go and get to cooking. So maybe we're going to say a little different.
With those poskim, the some poskim, the lesser ones.
Yes.
Would they also have a problem with me? Let's say I already poured in the boiling water, so on and so forth, with the coffee. Sure, with the coffee. My question is, if I pour a sugar cube afterwards, is it a problem?
For them, it would be a problem. No, into the coffee.
Uh-huh.
No. It's after the fact. I mean, it's already made. So in some sense, it's still the issue because you add in the color. Uh-huh. You're adding kind of like dye, right? The dry dye. I mean, that's what they see. For example, you want to make I'm making it up, right? You want to make this yellow color, yellow paint. So you put some powder, you mix it, and you see, it's not enough yellow, so I want to add yellow. So I think it's exactly what the case that we discussed. Even though it was ready coffee, but you want a little sweeter, so you put another sugar cube, so to make it sweeter. So it's exactly the same thing, I think. Okay. So continue.
Yes.
Okay. So number 2. So I gave you this thing about the coffee. So you can basically rely, but the proper way to be like, if it's possible to go by stringent way in a third cup, second cup, it's considered to be third vessel. According to all opinions, there is no problem. Continue. Number 2, adding red wine to the white wine in order to change color. Ideally, the wine used for Seder should be red wine, not white wine. Many people who prefer drinking white wine mix it with a bit of red wine to color it red. Most poskim permit this since the coloring of food and drink does not fall under the lack of coloring. You understand? So, and even on Shabbos, so it's clearly when we learn about the halachas of wine, it says clearly that you have to use like preferably. I don't say have to, preferably to use the red wine. If one cannot, so he wants to use a white, but add a little red so it would look red. You understand? So they say there is no problem. Okay, continue. We have actually 54. All right, you know what? Let's stop here. So I'll be open for questions. So just the introduction on next chapter. We're going to learn about trapping of animals, which is very interesting. Okay, go ahead. Any questions? No questions? So you want to start? I don't want to make a short change.
But it's relating to.
Related to Judaism or life. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. The question is, can you retire partially the metal plate for Shabbos from the permanent flame if it is releasing poisonous elements to the air?
I didn't get the question. Could you say it again?
For example, I don't have the plata here in my city,
okay,
but
yes,
I have a metal plate that it's similar that I put on the flame.
That's what we do. That's what we call black. That's exactly what we do.
But the problem is that when there is nothing over there, this metal plate, the flame hits this plate and begins to release poisonous elements to the air. So the question is,
Stop. What poisonous elements from the plate itself?
Yes, because I don't know if some chemical, but this is it's not.
Okay. All right. Step back. So what we use here? We use aluminum, like pure like aluminum sheets. That's it, and we cover the whole stove. So for example, but you don't need to let all of the flame go. Only one is enough. And you cannot. This metal plate, it's called blech, right? So you cannot put wherever you want to warm. You cannot put directly on the blech. You cannot. That's a way of cooking. So you have to put on top of this blech inverted vessel. So wherever you have like a pot, let's say not very tall, so you put it upside down, and on top of that you put whatever you want to warm up.
Here the element I have, it's for toasting bread. Basically, it's made from iron.
Okay.
It has the metal plate, which is from iron, and over there it has like I don't know how to say this.
Teflon, no? Teflon. Something that is not going to stick.
Some
grills. Yeah.
So in total, they are 2 layers of metal, but still I'm not sure how to put food over there to.
No. You cannot put food directly on this because it's normal way, as you said yourself. It's for making bread on top, or some people make eggs on top. There is no problem. You can cook on this thing. You can cook. So it's for sure it is forbidden to do this. So you have to put on top, as I said, something inverted vessel. I can send you a picture. There is like some aluminum containers. Aluminum containers, like disposable. If you buy food cooked food from a store, right? So for example, you buy hot food from the store. So they would put, in the US, they sell it in these aluminum containers, disposable. So you put this container upside down and you put whatever you want to work on top. So you show everybody, my intention is not to cook. Nobody cooks this way. Nobody. So I understand you declare to the whole world, I understand today is Shabbos. I understand I'm not allowed to cook. And I'm just warming them up in this way. I'm not cooking.
Oh, I thought that since it was a metal plate and it was a layer indirectly to the flame, it was not making any melach. But still I have this question about if you can. I think you cannot retire this element totally from the flame.
You mean take it off?
Yes, on Shabbos.
No, you cannot. On Shabbos, you cannot.
This metal plate must stay there.
Let me take it back. You can take it off, but you cannot put it back.
Oh.
So that's exactly what we do. So we put this black on Friday night. and it
Yeah.
stays. And Shabbos day, when we finish meal, we remove it. There is no problem. But you cannot put it back, for sure not.
So what I do is this metal plate, I retire partially, and still it's in contact with the flame, but it's not releasing poisonous elements to the air.
Try to find the aluminum. It should not be cost much money. Like what is it? Like if you have like over one burner in your stove, so that's what you need for one. Like that's it. Maybe
Yes, maybe the thing is that I sleep next to the. This is crazy, but I sleep next to the because it's too small here, too small the rooms, and I sleep next to the how do you say the cooker, the stoves,
wow.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it when and also I'll sleep in elevated from the ground. I'm not sure it's allowed to sleep elevated from the ground. And so all these gases from the metal iron plate goes
directly
to
into your face, right? Basically.
yes, and it smells bad. So the question was if I can retire partially the metal plate, because when I do that,
But you cannot put it back then.
but if
Try to find please try to find aluminum sheet. It should not cost more. They're like this with this much. That's it. This aluminum does not smell.
and how much in millimeters is?
I would say the thickness. I would say 2 millimeters, 3 millimeter tops. That's you. You don't need more. That's it. That's what we have for 20 years plus. I don't know. Maybe not 20 years less, but okay. We change it. Maybe once. I don't know. But basically, it stays like for many years. This piece.
Okay.
All right.
Rabbi, how much time could you take away from your Torah study to buy a bigger kippah? 20 minutes, 30 minutes, how much?
Me personally, I would not take 1 second. So because why? I would listen, put Rabbi Reuven in my ear, earphones, and I would go and buy. There is no waste of time. You learn in Torah. Why would you waste 1 second? Understand? And I have bigger kippah. I know only one store that sells this kippah. I'm sure there is many other stores, but I am aware only about one store that sell bigger than child size kippah. All right.
Second question is, so for example, through Rishonim, we look at every single word there, right? Because every single word has a reason over there. So my question is, and what's it called? Learning from Talmidei Chachamim in person is a big mitzvah from like their actions day to day, right? My question is, does that also apply to emulating and making sure to do as they do, even the way they sit at a table? Because I'm not sure like how many of them. I'm not sure the type of madrega we're on today, where they're too makmer on that type of stuff. You see, so what do you follow and what do you not follow when you see a Talmid Chacham?
It's a good question. So you have this Talmid Chacham. So sometimes you have to find out why exactly he does the something. So for example, he has this pinch nerve somewhere, right? And he cannot sit straight, so he would sit like crooked. And he's a great Chacham, so it does not mean that you can sit in the same way. Like I told you this, or no, about this Sukkot one time. So I went to that show, and like during the Hallel, nobody takes a lulav and esrog in their hands. Like me, I took it. And I looked like everybody, including Rabbi. I said, well, what's going on? Maybe I'm stupid. So maybe I have to put it down. So I always down it in front. So, but somehow I turned back. So I think maybe I forgot. But it said, I checked the siddur. No. During the Hallel, you take lulav and the esrog, and we're going to shake. So what's going on? Like, wow. And then one guy, has zero manners till this day. Baruch Hashem. I just down here in another place. They kick him out from his place. Baruch Hashem. So he said, "Wow!" He said, "No, you have to take lulav and esrog. What are you doing, people?" He started yelling, rebuking Rabbi. Okay. And then one Chabadnik told us. So a rabbi in that place was Chabadnik, right? So he said, the Rabbi, I don't know which Rabbi. So he was sick. Right? He was sick. Maybe the last one. Right, that's all. So he was sick during the Sukkot, and he could not take because he was fragile. So he was afraid, like maybe the last one after the stroke and stuff like that. So he was very weak, and he could not hold lulav and esrog. And in support, like of this, so all of the Hasidim did not take lulav and esrog. And then after sometimes, I don't know. So what circles, don't ask me. So it became tradition, they do not take until the moment that they have to shake the lulav and esrog. Why? Because Rabbi was sick. You understand? So here they emulated the tzaddik, but it's a wrong emulation. It's not like Siddur say. It's not what I'm sure that Shulchan Aruch Harav also said something different. I mean, you understand? But they decided to go by this. You understand? So I think, but without his explanation, I would not understand. So, and all of the people in the congregation, so they saw a rabbi did not touch the lulav and esrog, so they said that's a proper way. A rabbi knows, a rabbi should know, right? But that's the thing. So always ask for clarification, and that's it. Yeah.
And last question. So I heard from two from people. One of them called basically all day. My question is like this: there was a boy wearing a watch. I was not too sure about him wearing a watch. Shabbos I'm talking about, right? It's not allowed even if it's silver and gold, correct? That's what I saw.
Okay, no. Go ahead. Finish your question, and I'm going to answer.
No, because in Rabbi Simcha Bar Cohen, I saw even silver and gold, it's not allowed because if it wasn't showing the time, you wouldn't wear it.
Exactly.
So these two people didn't know what they're talking about, basically.
Okay, so here's the thing. So just since we're recording this thing, so I want to explain your question basically. So the question is, are you allowed to wear watch? Is men allowed to wear watch on Shabbos if there is no Eruv? So if there is an Eruv, there is no problem. Okay, that's option number one. That there is, it's according to all of the opinion, there is no problem. So, but if there is no Eruv, so it says on Shabbos you're allowed to wear something like an article of clothing, right? On article of decoration. So if it's like if there is for decoration, you're allowed to wear something, like even if it's not clothing. So the question is asked if watches are considered to be decoration, right? So they say simple watch. We have Timex here in US. I don't know, like $20, $15, $10, whatever. In my time, it's $6.99, right? So I mean they tell time. They pretty good watch, but they're very cheap. Everybody knows. So it's not allowed. Why? Because for sure it's not decoration. It's for telling time, right? So not allowed. So the question was about this golden watch. So it's golden watch, silver watch. They call it HaShem watch. So basically, a poor girl, or not her because she doesn't have money. Poor parents of this poor girl has to buy this avrech or whatever who is has to buy golden watch. Even I had a good salary when I was working. Right? I could afford golden watch. I never bought myself one. Like it's like why you should be arrogant. I have the Citizen watch, like I don't know, $200, whatever. So the question is if it's considered a decoration or not. If it's for decoration purpose and he feels he has a good mood, now everybody wanted to check out his watch. This Rolex watch, that watch, this watch. So it's very good, right? Until it stops. Let's say it breaks. So if his watch always showed 3:15, right? 3:15, it's a good time. Doesn't matter. 8 a.m. 3:15, 12 p.m. 3:15, always 3:15, right? So is he going to embarrass? Like for me, if it's a child and he wears the watch like this or upside down, he does not care, she does not care, there's no problem. But adult, like if you're adult and your watch shows at 3:15, so everybody would start laughing at you. You agree or not? Like, of course, normal people with their hedges would not, but other people like they find it very amusing. Like, why would he have this broken watch or watch this stuff? So that's why it is. It's not for decorative purpose. It's for sure to tell the time. For tell the time is not allowed. That's a basic explanation. Women, different issue. Another issue, different approach. They care about these sparkling things and I don't know whatever. So even if it works, does not work, does not matter. For her, it's a bracelet. So a woman would not stop if it's not working. You understand? Men would, unless they are not there, they would wear it.
Understood.
You understand? So that's why it's not allowed to wear a watch. I mean, just because person learning code the whole life does not mean that he knows he learned this issue, specific issue. You understand?
Last question. So you said don't give Musar, don't do Kiruv on people who create their own religion, saying this allowed, that allowed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. My question, but those who feel like losers but still do Averas, allowed.
Yes.
Go.
Yes.
My question is, what about those who don't feel guilty at all, pretty much, right? But don't create their own religion? Yeah, Torah says no, but I say yes.
Okay, so you can. Okay, so it's the closest to the first category. This actually they made their own religion. They put themselves in a center. I'm God. Basically, he's saying, I decide what is right, what is wrong, and don't confuse me with the facts. Understand? I'm God. So maybe somebody claimed that he's God, but basically in my world, I'm God. The way I say goes. That's cool. You understand? So in some sense, this guy has created his own religion.
And last question. This is you told me to remind you before. I didn't. Reb Moshe Feinstein, Shabbos, Tinik Shenishba. You're allowed to have a minion, not allowed to have a minion. What's the whole tshuva? What's the whole point of what he was saying? I heard a lot of things about this Reb Moshe Feinstein. About Shabbos.
Are you allowed to have them in the minion?
Exactly, because I heard that what's it called? If you won't do the Avera in public, then you're allowed to have it in a minion. But if you know he does it private, you're allowed to have it in a minion. So like what?
So if okay, so here's the thing. So if people are getting closer, they didn't get to this point, that point. So there is no problem. You can count them in a minion. You can call them to the Torah, and there is no problem. But if people they decided to get this title, like a sign for 10 years, 20 years. I mean, come on, just stop it. What do you mean? Like, what do you just get found yourself? Find yourself. Stop it. Like nobody stole you. I mean, even if somebody stole you, okay, you were released long time ago. So this pretenders, but their problem. But the problem is not there. Most of the issue is the rabbis who feel that it's good for the business to keep them in this status for forever. You understand? So it's good for business. He doesn't have to teach them. He just collect the checks, collects the donations, and what could be better. You understand? These people we cannot, especially if they see if whatever they do in private, you have no idea, right? Unless you have a drone and it flies and on Shabbos and you yourself, Michal, or you have a goy that is I don't know, that a spy after them. I don't know, but otherwise, how will you know what they do in private? You understand? So, but for sure, it's better not to daven in this minute, unless you're obligated for whatever. Unless you're trying to get them closer and you see there is a progress, so that's what you do. But if there is no progress and people like to drink like this guy, I know this guy, So he used to come to me like every Friday night. And he would go walk from me to, I don't want to say to what show. So I think from his house, it was 1 hour and 20 minutes walk. And he was overweight with big belly, right? And he was smoking, and he would walk 1 hour 20. Why is that? You ask why? Because they after Friday prayers, they stay there and drink for 2 hours. I don't know, is it normal? And during the day, what they drink again? I say, you're normal, you can buy your bottle yourself. What is it? What are you? No, like he said, it's good guys. Understand? So how can you call them the good guys if many of them married, they have families? Instead of going to their families, they would drink in the synagogue. You understand? And when every time the way I see that's the way I explain other guys. So the reason why your wives hate all of the religion, because every time you come from the shul, you're drunk. You're late and you're drunk. You understand? So for them, for these women, it's like a bar. So you go to bar, you come drunk, and then you come, right? Or you got to go to shul. What is the difference? For them, there is no difference. You understand? So of course, they ask, why do you want to go to shul? Absolutely not.
Understand.
So that's the thing. Okay. Israel, any questions? Or
Two last one.
Oh.
Can Sephardim reheat the soup that has been completely cooled down in the fridge?
Okay, so according to Sephardic tradition, you just put on this blech on whatever they cover. Blech is a metal sheet, and then you put an inverted vessel and you put on top. There is no problem. You can put soup. According to Ashkenazic tradition, absolutely not.
Yeah, but it's no problem.
You do it, they're not going to count you as a part of the minyan.
But it's no problem that the soup has been completely cooled down in the fridge.
Yes. So,
I read somewhere that the soup must be not cooled totally down.
No. That's exactly that's Ashkenazic tradition.
Okay.
So basically, if you, for example, if you remove this pot from the stove, right, and then you brought it to the table and you serve the soup and you hold in the pot in your hand and you have your intention to return it back, right, and to back, and it's still hot. So like most of the people would still consider it's hot or warm, at least warm, right, warm enough. So you're allowed to return, but otherwise you're not.
Okay. And then this last question is: can you freeze elements on Shabbat?
You can freeze. They're not even elements. So I give you maybe a different example, right? So you have some leftover food on Shabbat. You didn't eat. So, and of course this is special food. You want to save it for the next Shabbat. So you're allowed to put it in a freezer. You understand? You can put it in the refrigerator, you can put it in the freezer. It's up to you. Is it going to freeze? Yes. There is no problem.
No melacha or freezing?
No.
Okay, that's so big.
Yes. Okay, you stop here. All right, thank you very much. So good night until tomorrow, same time. B'ezrat Hashem. Thank you. Bye-bye.
אני מברך את הרבנים, רגע. אני מברך את הרבנים, הרב ירון ראובן, הרב אפרים כחלון, ראשי ארגון בעזרת השם, שהלכו בפי עליון, שעלו מעלה, יהיה להם ברכה והצלחה, הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא בישועות ליבם לטובה ולברכה, שבכל מה שיפנו ישכילו ויצליחו, יזכו עוד לעשות כאלה וכאלה, הודיעו תורה לאדירה, אמן ואמן.
בעזרת השם רשת בכל הארץ. הוא היהודי הזה, הוא היה מיליונר, סגר את כל הביזנס, אמר אני משקיע פה בעולמה של תורה.
איפה הוא גר?
בפלורידה.
פלורידה. איפה זה פלורידה? באמריקה.
במיימי. כן, ליד. אנחנו שם עכשיו הולכים להקים קהילה ספרדית.
חזק אותו בשמי.
קהילה ספרדית גדולה.
תעבירו מה שבירכתי אותו.
כן, קהילה ספרדית גדולה.